Welcome back to Close Up. On the business front, it has been a long 2 years living through COVID. Some small businesses saw business dry up. They even had to close, and other businesses that have survived are now having to find creative ways to attract and retain employees. Joining us this morning to discuss the road ahead for small businesses is SBA Regional Administrator Mike Vlasic. Mike, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Good morning. It's wonderful to be here with you.
Can you tell us, what are you hearing from small businesses these days?
Absolutely. So first off, let's contextualize where we were, where we are, and where we're going. 2 years ago, right about now, I vividly remember, small business owners from throughout New Hampshire calling us, and they were concerned. They had seen plenty of turbulence over the course of their business, recessions, et cetera, but we had never seen anything like this. And what was very noteworthy to it was certainly they were concerned, to some degree about themselves, but their primary concern was how do they keep their workers on board, how do they pay their workers, and how do they meet their customer and community needs. These are people who were dealing with the greatest crisis that many of us have ever faced. And they were concerned about those things. In addition to that, they were also trying to meet the needs of first responders in their community. So fast forward to where we are in New Hampshire, we were able to invest $5 billion from the federal government to support them through COVID-related programs like the PPP program, which really helped keep a lot of workers on the payrolls and whole. We also had the economic injury disaster loan program through COVID that was COVID related, again, provided loans. Looking forward right now, those programs, while there aren't new you can't apply for new applications for it. If you received PPP or EIDL, you are able to, if you meet the criteria, receive forgiveness for the PPP loans, so that again we can ease some of the burden that we're starting to hear about and that we're seeing for some businesses. Those loans right now we're able to forgive at a clip of about 90% of those that are applying for forgiveness. That's at a national level. And EIDL loans, I'm very encouraged and heartened by the administration's step in recent weeks to defer EIDL loan repayment for up to 30 months. That's the payments, interest, et cetera. So again, as we see that there are some challenges out there, at the same time, we have businesses that are doing well and recovered. That helps ease the burden, and we really are there as SBA to support and advocate for small businesses and do everything we can as their partner. And
what are you hearing? What is the greatest challenge these days, now 2 years into COVID?
Sure.
What is their biggest challenge right now?
Yeah. Well, as you know, COVID, wreaked havoc globally. And so we certainly have global pressures, whether it's on the supply chain side, inflationary. We also find, that in New England, we had some pre-existing issues prior to COVID around demographic trends. We are one of the older states in the country, in the oldest region in the country. And so that certainly was brewing for a number of years in terms of the impact on workforce availability. And so again, we have businesses that are resilient, and they have been working creatively with us. The Small Business Administration, in a non-COVID related funding manner, has put nearly $300 million into New Hampshire in fiscal year 21 alone. And that the money doesn't sum it all up, what it's doing to support businesses. We have a lot of resource partners that are helping the businesses to figure out how to reconfigure to meet the workforce realities that we have. We have a lot of other resources that help promote veteran business ownership, women-owned businesses, but our Small Business Development Center, I think, is a jewel here in New Hampshire, affiliated over at the University of New Hampshire, and they provide a lot of direct support along with our SCORE counselors, which are retired executives. So again, businesses in New Hampshire are resilient, they're flexible, and certainly they have challenges, but I think that we are equipped to support them as much as possible through this.
High inflation, is that a big concern for small businesses right now as we face that?
Well, certainly, we know what's happening. We have seen, increases largely attributed to what has happened with Putin's invasion of the Ukraine. It spiked gas and energy in the last few months. It's had impact on food. And so, President Biden quickly, pivoted and put in place historic measures to try to ease the burden on energy costs with record amounts of petroleum reserves released, strategic petroleum reserves. And so, I think that there's an acknowledgement and understanding that there is a strain, but at the same time, there are steps that we can take. But it is a global challenge, and there are going to be other steps that will continue to be taken when it comes to energy costs. I think there's a real conversation around whether we need to continue to move to more energy independence. But again, from an SBA standpoint, and the world that I am able to interact with the small business community, we've been able to provide some real relief. That idle relief, deferring those loans and those payments for 30 months, continuing to promote forgiveness of the Paycheck Protection Program if you're eligible. That's going to help us keep workers on the payroll. It's going to help the businesses continue to meet the demand, because there is demand, and we are seeing growth in some businesses, and we want to figure out how to meet those needs so that they can find those markets and expand the markets where they want. And again, with the workers, we're also seeing wage growth for them. And so it's a holistic challenge, but the bottom line is that if we are working together and helping businesses to understand the resources, again, that they have invested in, taxpayer dollars, those are their dollars. We provide a lot of free services to help them get through these times.
It has been such a competitive market when it comes to trying to hire staff.
Yep.
There are so many businesses out there that are offering all kinds of perks and benefits. And where does that put the small business owner?
Well, certainly that is exactly an area where, and I've visited a number of small businesses here in New Hampshire. They've had to be very creative. And they are. They're adapting. They are figuring out ways to meet the workers where they are. Certainly, wages are one part of the equation, but figuring out how to be flexible in meeting workforce needs. The employees may have schedule challenges and difficulties, and employers are looking at things differently and creating new schedules for workers. And so we've found that our employers have really adapted, but again, that's an area where we are trying to support them, to create new models for how to support businesses, and we will continue to do that, and we'll be at their side.
You're a resource, definitely, for a lot of small businesses. If they don't know it, there are all kinds of resources available.
Absolutely. We have a New Hampshire office led by somebody that I think should be a household name. Amy Bassett is our small business SBA regional district director here in New Hampshire. That team worked around the clock over the past 2 years. They still do. It was a passion for them. They knew the desperation, and we're still working hard to make sure that the resources are getting out there, because there continue to be. We have the recently passed infrastructure legislation, bipartisan infrastructure legislation. That's going to mean, again, a lot of new business, a lot of opportunity for government contracts. We want more people, more business people in New Hampshire to understand how to access government contracts. The federal government is a huge provider of jobs and business in this context. And so again, you expect resource fairs. I was at one in Connecticut earlier in the week, and we've had 3 businesses that came out of there with really good leads for new business. So, again, we really want people to go to SBA.gov and avail themselves of the resources they've invested in.
Yes, because there are so many there. Mike, thank you so much for joining us, and happy Easter to you.
Happy Easter.
All right.